Hey guys, so today's March 27th. I love Tylenol. Oh my gosh, I owe the manufacturers of Tylenol so much right now. I can't even tell you. All those people and um, all those people that made Tylenol come about. I am in love. I was hurting so bad last night that I think I really would have like smashed my head into the wall. Like, of course, all the mental stuff has been really hard to take, especially the part of feeling like my healthcare and that so many people acted in ways that were reckless. Um, I now know that a lot of the things that they did were to actually try and protect us, and they protected us sometimes at the risk of exposing others. And I'm not going to, um, I understand how that was probably, even putting us on a flight together was probably against protocol, getting us off that ship. But I think everybody was in such a horrible, horrible situation that they were trying to do the best that they could for the people that, for as many people as they could. But my head, I can still feel that I have something going on in my head, but the Tylenol, I cannot even tell you how amazing I feel with the Tylenol. I finally did get a hold of my travel insurance today, and I feel like the first time, not the first time, but one of the very few times that of what's been going on that somebody was actually stepping up to the plate. They're actually going to call every day to see how I'm doing. They're trying to get the waiver done so that I can actually have the hotel bill paid for in advance instead of having to pay for it out of pocket and then file the stuff later and get paid 30 days after that. So they're working so hard. They've contacted the health department for me. They've made sure that I have access to a doctor through teledoc kind of thing, so that I don't actually have to go into the emergency room for like meds for sinus infections and stuff like that, which is really kind of reckless. Um, Making sure I have Instacart on my phone so I can order groceries and have them delivered to my door. I can't, up until the day before I left on this trip, I debated on whether or not to get insurance. If you could like understand my mindset, even up to the day before I left, I still thought that the chances of me coming in contact with somebody with this virus were so remote, so absolutely impossible that I had debated. I thought it was a stupid idea to even get insurance. Yeah, like that. Like I was debating. I was having to ask my family, so should I get the insurance just in case? And honestly, I thought that the probably the only thing that might be an option or might be an issue is that we wouldn't get to go to the port that we were wanting to go to because somebody had a cold or somebody had a fever, and it was cold and flu season, so that just happens anyway this time of year. So, for all of you people that are mad that I took this cruise, you have to remember our media was telling us that only 200 people in the entire United States had this virus. They didn't say only 200 tests had been done and 200 people tested positive. They didn't say that, you know what, we've been seeing a non A, non B flu with pneumonia since last August. And there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that have this virus, but nobody's been able to test them because we haven't had a test kit. That wasn't in the media. There wasn't the amount of information and the type of information that we were being given at the time was that this was very isolated. It was very much, from an Asian kind of thing, and possibly they had an outbreak in Italy as well. That was what we knew at the time when I left. This is a trip, a 3 week trip. This is not something that, was like a weekend away that I could just cancel it and it not be a big deal. This was like a huge vacation. We're talking like a whole 3 weeks, spending time in France afterwards, Portugal afterwards. This was a huge deal. This was not something that you just go and cancel because everybody's panicked over something that seemed extremely remote. So anyway, my insurance company, Generali, I believe is the name of them. I'll have to get you guys the name of them a little bit later. But Oh my gosh, I feel like for the first time, somebody actually cares about me. Like somebody's actually going to be calling to make sure that I am okay, that if I need medications, I can get those medications without having to go and walk to the emergency room, which is a mile away, because I don't want to use public transportation. I'm trying to protect you guys as best I possibly can. I am doing my absolute very best to make sure that nobody else is exposed to me. So I just want to just say thank the Lord for travel insurance. If you guys are going on a trip, do not do not even think twice about getting it. Um, and it's not actually for the money reason. The money, that's nice that they're going to cover that. It has absolutely nothing to do with the money. Nothing. It has to do with an advocate. Like I actually feel like I have a patient advocate. I feel like there's somebody saying, "Hey, you guys can't do this. This is not okay. This person needs help." And I felt like that actually, Francis Robles, you are um, an amazing advocate, and I felt like even though she didn't have the ability to help sometimes, that at least there was somebody there that was listening and was here in the United States at the time. So there have been a couple of people throughout this whole process that I have considered my lifelines. Um, and so, even though I've tried not to use them as such, I kind of felt like if I needed it, if something was really bad or something was going really wrong, that those people were there. This insurance company is proving to be that way as well. So I'm I feel so much better. I got a couple of t-shirts down in the gift shop, so I'm not I actually washed this one last night, and you guys have seen me in the same sweatshirt. And the only reason I don't have it on right now is because I washed it this afternoon because it's the only sweatshirt I have. So I had no clothes, no toothbrush, no nothing. When I threw my stuff in my bag, in my hiking bag, I didn't actually think that I would be using that as a backpack. I didn't think I would get stranded without my luggage. So there's some weird stuff in there that I really are kind of strange. Like I had these little 50 milliliter bottles of rum that I had bought in San Juan in case I needed a sedative or in case I needed something like that alcohol wise. So I had those. So I've actually been putting a teaspoon of that in my tea when I drink hot tea to help with my throat. If I talk very much at all, my throat, I wouldn't call it a sore throat, but if I talk even like this, by the end of this, it's feeling a little raw. So I'm just using a little bit of alcohol in there because that'll actually kill some of the germs. It won't kill everything, but it's a little bit more of an antiviral kind of thing in my tea. So anyway, I've had weird things in my pack. A lot of things I wish I had put in there. If you're going to pack stuff for the plane when you're coming home, make sure that you have a backpack or something like that. Even I know that people do that when they're flying someplace, but when you're flying home, make sure you do that too because you may get stuck with only your backpack on the way home. So, especially for you people that are going to be trying to travel once they lift the travel bans, like right after they lift the travel bans, is going to be a very, very vulnerable time. If you're trying to plan a vacation or plan like travel right after they get done releasing those travel bans, be careful. I would not do it. I would advise absolutely not. Wait a good 5 6 months after this is over before you start doing leisure travel. um, so anyway, yeah, I'm so in love with my travel insurance people. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a lot of thank you notes and a lot of um, I'm gonna have a lot of people that I'm gonna need to thank and need to go out of my way to help. And just so you know, I am trying to pay it forward as much as I possibly can without coming into contact. So, for all of you that I have been able to do something, thank you for giving me the ability of helping. When I've needed so much help lately, it's nice to be able to help somebody else and have something that I can do for somebody else that makes me feel like I'm kind of getting a little bit more, not owing quite so much to the universe. So I'm one of those people that I don't like to be in debt to the universe or to the world or parents or anything like that. I like to stay where I'm helping as much as I'm needing help, at least that much. So anyway, this was March 27th, Friday, 2020. And this is still going on with the Costa Luminosa Nightmare Cruise saga. So, anyway, still hearing very, very, very sad news on social media. A lot of the crew members did test positive for the virus. A lot of people are in federal quarantine. And in federal quarantine without medications. Some are needing insulin, that are insulin dependent, who are not, don't have access to medications. They're really struggling. So please, please, please pray for these people. Please make sure that you are helping. Prayer is one thing to get down on your knees and ask God for help. But to actually reach out a hand and say, this is what I can do. There was a person in Rome that couldn't find the address of the nearest pharmacy, or touch base with the nearest pharmacy in Rome. And my phone company actually ends up letting us now call to those different places free of charge. So I was able to do some legwork because I have Wi-Fi and they didn't have Wi-Fi. So just things like that, just doing some of the legwork when you're sick and you're not feeling well, or you're quarantined and you don't have access to internet or Wi-Fi, you don't realize how much stuff that you can't do. For all of you people in the United States that are bored, there's a lot of people overseas that have no access to Wi-Fi that need somebody to do the legwork. Just find a phone number, find an address. What's my nearest pharmacy? Can you contact my doctor and tell him that I'm in trouble? Things like that. If you have access to people that have those needs, it's actually pretty simple to do. Look it up on MapQuest, find them, what the address is of the pharmacy and the phone number, and send them a screenshot of it so that they have that, that access. Our Costa is only paying for WhatsApp, which is not internet. They're not giving them any kind of Wi-Fi whatsoever. The only thing that they're allowed to use is this WhatsApp messaging type thing. So nobody has, even though I have access to WhatsApp now and can see what their needs are, they don't have any access to be able to do any of this stuff. So anyway, this is becoming really long, but anyway, I guess I'll check in with you guys tomorrow.